Hey boys and girls, before I go back down to the house, we're going to do something special. We're walking up through the woods, and no, we're not going to Grandma's house. Let's see what we can see up there. Okay. Got to kind of keep my eyes peeled around here. Deer prints. Lots of deer prints. That's all gone. Definitely all gone. Go up here, a little ways. That's wasted. That was last year. If anybody doesn't know, I'm just walking up here. That little area down there was where I baited corn last year. This was deer cane. There's some tracks in there, but that looks like bobcat. And I used to sit right in here and hunt the deer and the bear, because they were going down there and then they would take on up the hill. So this is where I was cutting a bunch of wood, and I had a little fire going over here in the winter time. So yeah, just seeing back up in here in the woods. I just got to be kind of leery because it's been a few months since I've been up in here. Don't want to be scaring nothing up in here. So, and if anybody does know what I'm doing, you'll get to see here in a minute. So, without further ado, we're going to do a special edition of this old cabin. Not the new one, the old one. There's the one I built last year. I took the door off because it is trashed. I took both the doors off because I took all the hardware off. This was the front door. And I had a couple bags of garbage up in here. It looks like something tore them up. But this was the cabin I built last year. And if you can tell, let's see if we get in here, see how light it is. Oh yeah, something came in here and went through the garbage. But anyways, that was my fireplace. And the chimney was out back. I knocked that down. And what was going on was, I didn't have the chimney done up right, and it burnt through the wall and through the side, and all of this wood is black and burnt, and so you can't use it. And then went around the side back here. This is where I was cutting all my boards and stuff. Yeah, something been up in here. There's the other door. It looks like something been up in here. But yeah, there's the old chimney. And the windows burn out of it. Yeah. Crap. That's alright. My new cabin's going to be better than that. So now we're taking a walk down memory lane back here. This is where I drug up all my logs. Cut all my logs. This is an old road bed. And I cut a crap load of timber up in here. And I had these brush piles way high. So something's been in here. or somebody's been in here. Yeah, so we're just, might get a sneaky snake back in here. This is, I killed a copperhead in here last year. So, and this was another spotted deer cane, and I put corn right down here, and that's where that snake was hanging around because of all the mice. Yeah. So we're just wandering around down in here. See what we can see. It's grown up. It has really grown up. Getting overgrown. But anyways, next year, I get the cabin done, and some of the weeds and stuff come back. The cabin will look like that. It'll be harder to spot. But we're going to make it hard to spot this year. So, yeah. So we are, I still got logs and stuff down here I didn't even cut. That's pretty funky. Oh, and lots of spiders around. Tons of spiders. I don't want to really go any farther. But I cut and pulled down a whole bunch of logs down here. This is above the road that I take up and go back up in there. So to get up here, you just keep following the trail up, and then it comes up here. But yeah, I just wanted to come up here and see about stuff. I didn't think I was going to scare up a snake, but it was a good possibility. And right over here, I don't know if you can see it, but the roadbed goes down and around, and right over there, in the wintertime, the deer like to bed down overnight over there because it's kind of sheltered. And so if I'm up here on in the cabin and I stay overnight or whatever, instead of driving the four-wheeler around, I'll walk up in here. I can walk all the way back up in here and see the deer right across over there. Now the bear den is right up here. There's another one back up in there. So there's bear everywhere up in here. I haven't seen any bear scat, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm a glutton for punishment. Second year, second cabin. It's fun. Like I said, I enjoy doing this stuff. And yeah, I cut a bunch of trees out of here. Boy, I remember all that. And falling big trees like this right down here on the roadbed, and getting them all done up. And there should be a trail. Oh, it's right there. There's a trail. There's a trail. And so we're just walking around up here, seeing if there's been anybody up in here. It doesn't look like it. And yeah, if somebody wanted to come up here, last year, when I was up here, I cut a bunch of wood, firewood. Yeah, this thing all burnt down. But there's a bunch of my firewood still there. And as you can see, it burnt through the wall. It was the fireplace that did it. And then it took off and burned all the way up. And as you can see, it's way, this is going to be way different than the new cabin. If you notice, I don't have a post in here. I nailed it through one of them little ones, and it wasn't all that stout anyways. And I kind of messed that up last year. And then the roof, I'm doing different this year, because last year I kind of got stuck behind the 8-ball because I started in July. This time I started in April, so I have a ton of time underneath me And I was trying to get it all done quick. And so I did the roof like this. This is the wrong way to do a roof. And what I ended up doing was underneath, I was using spray foam to suck all, you know, do all the leaks and stuff. Well, this time I have a tarp down there, and I'm going to lay the boards in like this and just overlap them. But I'm going to do the peak just like this. It'll come up long on one side, short on the other. That way when the rain drips off, it'll drop down and la-di-da-di-da-di everybody. And then my chimney came up through there. And oh yeah, there's still quite a bit of wood. Somebody come up here, it's been curing for a year, whatever. And then I have lots of wood over here I was gonna bust up, and then that happened and I never got around to it. And the door, the old door, thing's heavy. Oh my God, it's freaking heavy. But the new door is gonna be just like it. Pretty heavy. So yeah, this is Spider. But this is where my old cabin was. And at this old cabin, I had to watch this. This is a natural gas line. And it's a 4-inch pipe. And so when I was shooting, I had to watch this. And it goes all the way down. It goes by the new cabin, but it goes on the other side of the creek. But it ends up being in the creek. So, yeah. Blech. I don't really have to worry about it unless I'm shooting downhill towards the creek. But I had this all cleared off last year. Beautiful for hunting. Now all the saplings are growing up. There's a bunch of new saplings up in here. And then right down here last year, I don't know if it was a lightning strike or wind or whatever, but a tree probably 4 foot in diameter, it was a birch tree, is right here, and it laid all the way across the trail. And one day I had to come up and cut it all out of the way. Yeah. So, yeah, we're just up here scouting around. I ain't been up here in a while, and since I'm up here and I was getting ready to go down because it's almost 1 o'clock, I thought I would come up here and see what was what. Yeah, kind of pretty up in here, and still got logs I was gonna cut. I still have logs up here that I was gonna pull down, trees that I was gonna pull down, and there's a deadfall tree. It's right there. The deer and the bear come right behind this tree, run up and around, and they were hitting this corn pile. But when they run up and around right in here, these little saplings weren't here. These are this year's little saplings. But they would run around this tree and end up right here on this trail right before they got to the corn. And I blasted a 10-point buck and a big doe right here. And I missed the bear coming up through here by 2 days. I saw him 2 days before the season, and I didn't take him. And we won't do that again. We won't. I don't like to take things out of season. But yeah, and I parked my four-wheeler down where it's at. And we're just walking back down the trail. And yeah, good memories from last year. I spent a lot of time up here. I built that cabin in 5 months. I've already been 5 months on this one. But I did something on the other one that I didn't do on this one. And that was take a whole month when I started. I had to clear off the area. There was a big deadfall tree. It's kind of like this big thing over here. There was a bunch of it. I had to clear it all off. And then I used all that wood and cut it up for firewood. So the first month and a half, I was cutting wood and splitting it up for firewood, so it's seasoned for this winter. And I've been off and on cutting during this 5 month period. So in all essence, I've been working on the new cabin for about 3.5 months. But that one up there took me 5 months, and I mean, I was cooking on it, and I finally got it to where it was at in early December. So yeah, and I never did get it finished. One of my other logs I never got out of here, but that's okay. Deadfall logs and stuff are okay. Somebody's been up here. Bud Light can there that wasn't there before. And yeah, somebody's been up in here. There is a trail. This is the trail, because this is not actually a road. This is a trail. And they ride their side-by-sides up through here and go up through here, but it doesn't look like anybody's been through there in a while. But you go up through there, and there's a big ditch, and it's deep, and the mine made that big ditch so nobody can get back up in there. And on the other side of this ditch, there's a big meadow, a couple of big meadows, and then over here, right across the way, did some hunting up here last year, right through here, and this is where I got to see all my turkeys and stuff. Now this right here, this creek is the same creek that goes down by my new cabin, and then there was deer and turkey all up in here. The bear, it either goes up that way or comes down through, and this connects with a bunch of trails that goes down by my cabin, which is where they're at. So yeah, this is last year's hunting ground. And up in here there is a ton of squirrels. Squirrel season starts pretty soon. And yeah, doesn't look like there's been many animals up in here, but I bet the bear and the deer been up in here. And I just thought I would come up here with the four-wheeler and travel this little trail up here and see what was going on that old cabin. So how about that for a trip down memory lane, fellers and fellies? So anyways, I got my rifle on my back, I've got the four-wheeler going. I think it's time to go down the house, go get something to eat. So, oh yeah, and last year I was working half days, sometimes full days. I haven't hit a full day down here. So, literally I'm 2 to 3 months into this build. It's going faster on this build because I had a couple of problems with this cabin up here, and I wanted to change things anyways. That cabin is still, I mean, if some hunter wants to come up and get out of a snowstorm or build a fire in the fireplace that doesn't have a chimney just to stay warm or whatever, let them have it. There's wood there, I don't care. But I will come up and I'll hunt this area again this year. Plus I'll hunt over by my cabin. Plus I'll hunt up the trail here. So I've got this entire area that I will be hunting. So anyways, without further ado, this be me, you be you be good. And thanks for going down memory lane with me to that old cabin. So, without further ado, see ya.